Welcome to Captain of Industry. My name is Corporal Hobbs, and we are back in episode 8. So, last episode, we got some of our oil refinery products up and running. So, our plastic, what else did we do? Rubber. So, we got those up and running. Then, we also set up some basic graphite production over here, as well as some thermal desalination using the exhaust from our generators. Eventually, we will try and go through and plug in all of our exhaust from our boilers. And then we also set up hydrogen production over here, as well as set up our silicon production over here. So in between episodes, I went through and ran the belts and pipes to our hydrogen, our graphite, and then our silicon. Very basically, hydrogen just comes over here, just dumps in, goes under the bridge, and then over. Same with our rubber, or our graphite. Same idea, comes over onto a belt. And then I went through and lined up all of our supports so our vehicles can drive through. So we should be good there. So we'll unpause. Today's episode, we are going to work on getting electronic 2s set up and running. So for electronic 2s, we are going to need silicon, electronics, and PCB boards. We will need copper, plastic, and glass. And the ratio is 1 PCB board assembler to 2 electronic 2 production assembler. So this will make 12 PCBs. We need 6 for each one. So this is kind of the idea I'm thinking of. So we'll have the PCB boards here in the middle. Goes out, gets split 50-50 to each assembler. And then we have the electronics and silicon coming in from the other side. And then the inputs for the PCB boards will come down the middle. And I laid out and upgraded to our larger storages. So I'm thinking this is going to be the idea here. So let us get all of this built. And then for these, let's look. So I'm thinking I want the electronic 2s to come out here in the middle. So we do something like that. Our electronic 2s here in the middle. Eventually when I copy this and mirror it to the other side, they'll come right down the middle as well. And then we have our inputs here on this side. And I'm thinking we do... Actually, eventually we'll need that upgraded. But we do our electronics here on the very bottom, and then our silicon right above that. So something like this. So that gets us our silicon in on the top, electronics down on the bottom. Our PCB boards are also down here on the bottom. And the reason I am doing that is eventually when we get up to assembler 5s, we're going to need 48 electronics per assembling machine. And if we do that, that means we can only support 9 rows of 9 sets or 9 assemblers producing. Everything else is limited to 24. So even our PCBs at most will need 24. It will output 48, but that's going direct feed in, so that doesn't matter. So 24 will be our limiting factor, which will be 18 machines. So I think something like this will work for us. So let's get the other items hooked in. So we do something like that. Like that. And like that. So that is those items. And then if we copy paste this, flip it, should be good to just go like that. And then that will be our electronic 2 production. So we'll cut that. And now we should be tileable. And I'm thinking we're gonna need some extra room here. So let's go, we'll go one space back like that from the line. And we'll start with our input. So that's our electronic 2 input. Then all 3 of the items we need for PCB boards are right here. So we will just go directly out onto a lift. And then we just run these like this. It should make it easy for us to see if we need to expand out at all by increasing our belts if we expand this enough. But I think for now that should work just fine. So let's go like that. We could do something like this. Yeah, for our electronic 2s. So we have a belt to each side. And then our silicon. Go like that. And what we could do is actually go one farther out. So there's that. Do I want to go that direction? Might be better to just jump straight across the top like that. So that gets us our silicon hooked up. Yeah, everything hooked up. So let's let the trucks build that. And then now comes the fun part of trying to plumb all of this in. So let's do something like that. Here's our inputs. Copper is this belt. Which means we are going to want to go like this. And yeah, we'll go right there. And there's that straight across. Let's modify our pillars so they line up so the trucks can get in easy. There's that. And that. Okay. Now we need plastic. So plastic is down here. First silicon. Let's leave a little bit of room for our glass. So we'll do silicon right there. And then plastic will come down to right there. And if we need a second belt, we have it. Same with silicon. So we'll upgrade all of these belts over. There we go. So plastic is going to be on this line. Let's see. How are we doing our pull-offs when it's on a bottom one? How are we doing glass over here? Okay, so we're just doing a balancer. So we'll keep it the same. So right through here. Which means we want like right there. Which means right there. And there's that. And connected in. Perfect. Modify those pillars again. And there we go. So that gets us our plastic going. Let's get our belts going for silicon because we'll need that eventually. Glass. So same kind of idea. Glass is going to be right here on this line. Which means we want glass right there. And we get rid of that. Do some unity. Oh. One too many off. Okay. Oh, let's move it. Oh, you can't move balancers. Okay. It's good to know. There we go. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Here's that. And we'll modify our pillars. Okay. So that gets us glass in there. Our electronic 2s are going to come out here, but our electronic 1s, we want right here. It's going to be on this line, like that. And then same kind of idea. Put in our balancer. And some unity. There we go. So that will start feeding in our electronics. And then last thing is silicon. So our silicon we want right here. There we go. That guy connect in. And there's that. Okay, and that should be everything hooked in. Alright, with that hooked up, just need to unpause everything. And there we go. So once trucks have that built, we should be good to start making electronic 2s. So we'll start with just 2 machines. So let's see. We'll make our PCBs. We're still waiting on these guys. There we go. So that gets the silicon going. And then after that, We need to make 20 electronic 2s. That will give us the unlock for maintenance 2. Then we can start putting maintenance 2 down. So we'll get maintenance 2, power, and then research, and then come back for these here. Let's see. Should be our first craft of electronic 2s. There we go. Perfect. And now we have electronic 2s here, which means we need to put those down on the belt because we will need those in multiple locations. So let's come over here. We'll steal this guy. And so height 3. Okay. And basically we want to have that guy go in right there. We'll steal this one off of our electronics. And oops, that's a mistake. It's gonna be down here. There we go. Actually, we can get rid of that and just go like that. There we go. And then that's our electronic 2s now. And then this guy will go all the way back to our maintenance. So let's unpause all of that. Unpause that. And unpause that. And we should be good to do our construction, our power, and then our research lab. And then, oh, there we go. Like that, like that, like that. Then we'll get statue of maintenance, our offices, all this extra stuff, and then finish it off with vehicle pollution again. Okay, so now we need to run a belt all the way over here to our maintenance, and I already have the storage ready to go, so this will be for our maintenance 2s. And let's see, I'm thinking it's already a pretty tight fit right there, so let's go underneath. So in that case, we'll go this height. So we'll do something like that. And we'll drop this guy in over here, raise him up to height 4, and then from there, height 5. And right there. The oil pipe will need to cut real quick. And we can go like that. There we go. Get that oil pipe hooked back up. And then that should run our electronic 2s over to that storage. We should have a bunch of electronic 2s in here. There we go. So trucks can come over and pop all of that out. Our project team is cleaning up this area pretty well. So we got it all leveled out around here. Just a little bit left of the limestone mountain to clean up. Then I think we'll move them over here so they can flatten this area. But let's see. So we are 14% of the way there. We should have the supplies built up that we can actually turn on all of our labs. And we still got the extra people, so perfect. And how is our maintenance? So we're using about 950 at the moment. So that's, yeah, about 3 of these running. We got our electronic 2s over here. Now, electronic 2s are going to be the same idea. So what we'll want is something like that. And then where our electronic 1s are, we'll just swap that out for electronic 2s. So we'll run this over and then down. Then we only need a tier 1 belt for that. So here's that. Here's our belt right there. We could do that, but I'd rather stay at this height. There we go. So we'll do something like that. That way we can still pull our mechanical parts from here down to maintenance 3 once we have that running. So here's that. Here's that. We can get all of those hooked up. Same with that one. And then just need a U-shaped conveyor belt right there. Same with down here. And then same with right over here. And just do something like that. There we go. Okay. And U-shaped conveyor. Perfect. And then we copy and paste this. There's that. Here's that. And now we just need the connectors for, or the research to finish, and then we'll have our next maintenance ready to go. Words, if I could remember. Okay. So while we are waiting on that, we can also take a look at our upgrades for our smelting. So if we look at what we currently have for steel, we are taking, there we go. Let's get another one so we can see the difference. So our blast furnace right now, just the low level one, level 1 has iron ore mixed with coal, gets us 24 molten iron, some slag, and some exhaust. If we do the next level 1, so we'll pin that open and then we can take a look. So our blast furnace Mark II, go from 8 people to 18 people. And then our maintenance use is 4.5 versus no maintenance on our blast furnace. So that's something to consider, but the main thing is instead of using 30 iron ore for 24 molten iron, we are going to take 48 iron ore crushed mixed with some limestone, and that will get us 48 molten iron. So it becomes from over a 1-to-1 ratio to a 1-to-1 ratio. So it'll just be more efficient for our steel, as well as doubling our molten iron production. The other thing to consider is that we are going to have an additional hookup. So if we look, we'll need to bring in iron ore, crushed limestone, and coal. And then we still have slag and exhaust to deal with. So I pre-positioned a limestone belt here already. So let's go through and we'll start here on the end. So we'll upgrade both of these. And then we will build all of this over here. So this will be our crusher. So it will take in 192 iron ore and crush it into 192 iron ore crushed. And one of these crushers can support 4 blast furnace Mark IIs. So we'll upgrade these 2 on the end. Or actually, should just upgrade all of them. So we'll upgrade all of them. And that means we can also get rid of these belts here. And then plan how we are going to hook these in. So we're going to do something like that. So that'll be 2 belts in, 2 belts out. And all of this is running. And then same idea, we are still prioritizing that iron scrap that we are getting from our recycling. Before we take in any ore from our crushers. But we will unpause one of these guys. So this will fill up 192. Our belt can hold 200 is our max throughput. So that's our limitation at the moment until we get our tier 3 belts. But we can see here, there's that. So the only change we need to make is hooking up our limestone. There we go. So right there. So right there. And we got some spare unity, so we'll get that hooked up. That way it's ready to go. We have all of these running. We are going to need our crushers going. And then these guys down here, we will upgrade our oxygen and cool casters to their replacements. So we'll get that going. And it looks like we are running short on people, so let us unpause some more housing. We're almost done with this housing block, and then we'll have to expand on to our next one. And let's see, our construction 3s are tanking. We have plenty of steel and construction 2s, so let us unpause some more here. We'll unpause all of them and then notify if empty. That way we can come back and pause them. Don't really need the vehicle depot yet, or at the moment, so we'll unpause that, or pause it. And then we have our crew already unloaded. So, just gotta wait for some more people. There we go. Oh. -1. That's from these guys over here. Okay, so let's copy the recipe over to everything. So that should start producing us some molten iron. Our old cooled caster took 24 in and 18 oxygen. This one will take in 48 and 18. And it goes from 4 people and 3 maintenance and 120 kilowatts to 6 people, 4.5 maintenance, and 200 kilowatts. But for double the production. And then it will be something similar to the cool caster, so 2 to 2 people, and yeah, no maintenance needs, it looks like. So cool caster is just a direct upgrade. But we don't need to change anything else. Our air separators already keep up. So that is fine. And then once all of this is built, we were making about 96 steel, so we should see that number double. Once all of these have been built, when we have enough construction 3s going. Let's see. So we got that. Our research is done, so we can come over here to our maintenance and get our new maintenance depot. We will actually need construction part 4s. So let's hook up this and this. Then set our recipes. Transfer all of those over. Then we can let the trucks get ready to build that. We'll need construction 4s before we can build anything though. We'll move that over. What could I move? Probably coal. Coal's good to track, just so our stuff over here lines up. Let's see. So we got that. Let's look at construction 4s. So that's something else that unlocked here. The only thing that needs is just our construction 3s and electronic 2s. So it should be relatively simple to hook up. So right over here will be our construction 4s. Copy those recipes over. And basically, yeah, this is all wrong. Not really gonna have enough room if we do that. Let's see. So I want to get rid of those. That way we can do our construction 4s in here. Don't want the trucks to import any. And basically, we could do our electronic 2s here on this side. And then we do our construction part 3s here on this side. And then it should be... Let's see. Yeah, let's just restart this. So let's move this over so it's right here. We're never gonna overload a 450 belt with construction 4s. I don't ever see us needing that much production rate. So we'll do something like that. And then do something like that. And we just go like this at that level. So it's 50-50 split to each side. And then extend this out so we can build everything in the future. And then our electronic 2s, thinking we just go right there. Right there. And then a tier 1 belt should be plenty for this. So we'll let the trucks build that. We got stockpile of construction 3s going again. If we are running side to side, we are doing height 5. So same idea. Go right there, right there. And just do a connector because it's free. There's that. Okay, so that's all built. We can import here if we have extra, just so we can make more construction parts. That's what I've been doing on all of the other ones, so keep it consistent. So there's that, and then we just need to bring those electronic 2s over, which will be down here. And go. Almost there. There we go. So same idea. Bring this guy over. And it looks like it's going to be right here on this line. So we'll do something like that. Like that. Okay. Put in our balancer. There's that. And there we go. Okay, so that should get us electronic 2s coming down. That is one thing we will want to add, is 2s and 3s to our chart over here. And then, yeah, wood we can yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you can see all of our different construction parts, our electronics. Let's add in our mechanical parts too, just so we can see if there's an issue. And we'll move those up so they're near our electronics. So, there we go. Now at a glance we can see what's going on with the factory or the island. But electronic 2 production going up. Yeah, we're not using any at the moment. All of these guys are ready to go and we are stockpiling. You guys can import. Actually, yeah, you guys can import, but no exporting. And you guys are going to make 24 recyclables each. So we'll upgrade this belt here. So we have a 200 throughput. Low supply of construction parts. There we go. Turn that notification off. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Why are you not running? Oh, because of the priority. Okay. We'll turn that down to 300. That way we can start producing some of these, and we'll just turn one of these machines on. That way we can start getting a little bit of construction fours. Low supply of potatoes. What's going on with our food? Potatoes. So we are trending down with all the increased people. So we could expand the farms, but I think what I want to do is come over here and let's look at our fertilizer. So we could put fertilizer 1 into our farms, but to upgrade to fertilizer 2, we would just need a mixer, some limestone, and some sulfur, and we have all of that over here already. So we have our sulfur here, our limestone here, that's just being trucked in, or no, we have a belt for it. So we got a belt for limestone. So we'll need limestone, sulfur, and then our fertilizer. And I'm thinking we can just do this right over here. So we have our hydrogen production right here. We could just come on the other side of this because our hydrogen's gonna go out this way. And we can just incorporate a mixer here. And start with 2 of them. And super simple. We'll just do something like this. And to speed up the process, do 3 belts stacked on top of each other. Copy these, move them to the other side. And then a belt in right there. Actually, never mind, we don't need 3 belts. Just 2 belts. That gets us our limestone and our sulfur. And then we'll have our pipe of fertilizer right there. And each one of these needs 60. So we'll just do a Mark II pipe out and then into a connector. For outputting, how do we want to do that? We could just run a pipe here on this side. But I think we'll go like this. And then run a pipe right across the top there. And these are going to output 72 each. So let's upgrade that pipe to tier 3 on this side and tier 2 on this side. There we go. There we go. So perfect. So that is everything we need for our fertilizer build. And I'm thinking we just do it right here. So we will do our first belt right through here. And it should be as simple as just plugging it right into our sulfur. Let's get this all unpaused so our trucks can start building it. And then our limestone coming out over here on this side. We'll just come out on here. At height 1. We should be good to just follow that sulfur right across and under the bridge. So here's that. So that gets us limestone and sulfur. That will get plugged in over here, and then we just need our fertilizer pipe. And fertilizer, I don't think we are going to hook it up to anything else. So we'll just come, let's go underneath water. Height 3. Height 3 right here. Drop it down. There we go. I don't like how that connected though. So if we it's gonna get in the way no matter what. Okay. So yeah, we'll just run it off to the side like that. So that should be our fertilizer 3 pipe, or fertilizer 1 in a pipe tier 3. And then we can do our storage over here for fertilizer tier 2. And just wrap it around, drop it right down next to hydrogen. And there we go. Okay. So that gets us our fertilizer being produced. Now comes the fun part of figuring out how we are going to run it all the way over here to our farms. And I'm thinking we could go on the opposite side or next to our crude oil, which means we would want to probably just run it out right here all the way down to crude. Or we can run it this way to our diesel and then run on the other side of diesel right through here, which I think will work. So if we are doing that, let's see. Let's raise up to height 1, over to here, drop back down. And see if we can stay underneath our hydrogen pipe. We should be able to just stay right here on the ground next to hydrogen. Okay. And since I already cleaned up all of this supports, we're just going to go through and follow along. Yeah, let's bring it out on the outside here. is basically turned into like a main artery for the base. Okay. Yeah, so we'll follow this to where diesel was, and then follow that diesel pipe up towards our farms at the moment. Eventually our farms are going to get moved, but for now this will hold us over. Now I should be able to jump right over. Diesel's only at height 4. So if we stick at height 5, we should be able to follow right across the top of diesel. There we go. And then if we duck back down to height 4, we can swap places with our diesel. Come over here to outside of our oil pipe. And then same idea, follow our oil now. Our food is running out slowly, which we could turn off our extra food bonus that we are feeding to our people. But the extra unity is definitely nice, so we'll keep it on if we can. We're not doing anything with the fertilizer, so we're just wasting the ammonia. Let's cut this over to height 4. There we go. Alright, this gets us fertilizer to our farms, and then we'll have to figure out how we are going to process it from there. And we are also about to unlock our next research lab. Over halfway there. Which I think it's just electronic 2s that we need for research tier 3s. Yeah, we'll go on this side of diesel. Yeah. Or no, we can't do that because that could get in the way of anything over here. So instead, we'll have to go on this side. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we don't have enough construction parts to build this. Looks like anything over 300 is going to our construction 4s. Okay, so this pipe gets us to our fertilizer, or our fertilizer out to here. And I'm thinking we do height 4 for fertilizer. So we'll drop this guy down 1. Let's let the truck start building all of that. And then fertilizer, so we are going to want to probably stick to 100 for now, which means we're going to need 10.5%. And the fertilizer will give us Fertilizer 2 will allow us to reclaim 2.5% fertility per every fertilizer used, every unit of fertilizer. So we'll need, what is that, 3? About 3 fertilizer 2 to keep this farm running. So I think just a tier 1 pipe is plenty. And then we'll do this as priority output. And then let us go through here, height 4. And we'll go all the way down. All the way to here. Okay. Unpause that so trucks can start building. We'll need to cut this one back and probably that one back. We could do this as like a combined pipe balancer, but I like the idea of having each one as an individual one. So we'll output priority to each farm with a balancer before it keeps running fertilizer down the line. Which means I am going to want this one taken care of and this one. And there's that. Priority out, and unpause. And same idea over here. Priority out, and unpause. We should just have, what, one left? So we'll get rid of that one. Here's that, unpause that, and do our priority. So it's going to hit this farm first and then go down the line. And then we can copy all of our settings from here. So set to 100% with our potatoes and vegetables. I'll just copy all of those over. So 127 construction parts short right there. Let's see. Let's use some Unity to help out the trucks. So that gets us our pipe built all the way through to here, and all of our other pipes are built. So now we are just waiting on 127 construction 3s. Okay, so we've upgraded our steel smelting. So yeah, 96. It looks like we might be backed up on steel, possibly. Is that what the issue is? Output is full. Oh, it could be exhaust now. So 36 and 36 is 72, which means one of these guys is not enough to keep up anymore. So let's see. How do we want to fix that? So we're gonna have 72 per one, and we have 8 of them. So we're having 576 exhaust. So even a tier 3 pipe is not enough to keep up. Which means we're going to need to run 2 tier 3 pipes. Eventually 1 900 pipe. So let's put in a smoke stack. Let's do it over here. Well, let's go like this. So if we get rid of this exhaust, we do a 200 pipe over to our water, and then bring that out over here. And then unpause that. And then same thing on this side. Should be able to join those pipes together. So that would be 72 and 72. So what is that? 142, I think, or 144. So tier 2 pipe will work with that. So out to here, a tier 2 pipe works just fine. But we'll put in a pipe balancer. That way it has a priority in. And then I want to do another pipe balancer here. And then a smoke stack. Set to exhaust. And we'll use Unity for all of this stuff. There we go. So priority outs. This guy can run up to 900 exhaust, so we should be fine to just do a double pipe like that. But we have room here that we can put in more exhaust venting if we need it. Okay. And then we can eventually hook up some exhaust scrubbing for this system. So let's go through and delete all of our exhaust pipes here. Use some Unity for that. There we go. There's that, and this should be the last one. There's that. And basically want to copy, except for priority on one pipe for output. Then tier 3 pipe through here. Okay. Here's that. And we should see this start running a lot better. Yeah, now we should see our steel up above what it was. So there's that. Yeah, we should be right around like the 55% mark or so. And then all this steel, we have 24 times 8, so 192. 192 should be fine on just one belt. But we do have our spare backup tier 1 belt, but we'll upgrade it to tier 2 just in case. And we have our first maintenance 2, so we'll start getting some maintenance built up. This will run at 480 just like our maintenance 1. And then we want priority 1. Yep, so priority 1 on everything. And how are our electronics stacking up? So we got 2,000 over there. And we have about 200 in here. Yeah, just a matter of our construction parts keeping up, which those are not keeping up because our electronics are not keeping up. And that's because our electronics are probably maxed out. So let's unpause this last assembler. So that's going to be 96 electronic 2s that we are making. Or electronic 1s. Each one of you used 12, so that's 24. So that's one machine by itself. And then 72 left over for everything else. And we're using 36 there, so that's half of our electronic use. And then each one of you is using the other half, so another 36 there. Not including what we need for research. Yep, and our research is no longer keeping up with all 4 labs going. But we did construction. Let's look at our lab equipment. So yep, just like I remembered, so it's just the lab equipment 2 and electronic 2s mixed together to make lab equipment 3s. And it should be a 1-to-1 ratio. So we'll come over here, set this to be lab equipment 3s. And basically, we just need 2 inputs. So we'll get rid of this. Change this over to a lab equipment tier 2 for input. You can import and export. That's fine with me, I think. Yeah, it's fine. And then over here, we just need our lab equipment or our electronic 2s. Import, export don't matter to me. And then right here will be our lab equipment tier 3s. And then if this is all set up correctly, which it looks like it is, we should be good to just unpause all of this. We will run our lab equipment 2s over here. I think it will be right there. And then we do one of you right there, flip it. Do our connector. So that will start stockpiling our lab equipment 2. And then same idea over here. Flip that. Add in our connector. And then that will run our lab equipment 3s over here. And we can start upgrading everything, and we'll only output if we are above 300, just so the trucks have a chance to upgrade everything over here, because we'll need 48 for each one of these labs. And then the last thing we need is our electronic 2s, which are down over here. It looks like this is going all the way to the end. So we'll expand that out a little bit more. Get our electronic 3 or 2s over here. And line up our supports. There we go. Right there. There's that, and recover that truck because I think I locked him in there. Okay. Oh, a lot of you guys got stuck. Okay. Okay, you guys can all get out. That's fine. And use some Unity to help run this along. Didn't mean to build that belt. Oh well. Okay. Now we're just waiting on construction 3s. So we'll drop our stockpile down. That way we can build some construction 3s real quick. And that should get us our next level of lab equipment, hopefully. So we are currently producing 12 and 12, so 12 and 12. And then once we upgrade to our next research lab, we'll be able to see how much lab equipment it is going to need. I think it's going to be 24, so we might only be able to run one. But do we have the people? We do. So run some more of these assemblers to make some of these construction parts a little quicker. There we go. We'll do 1, 1, and 2. So that will get us our lab equipment up and running. Yeah, so we got maintenance ready. Electronic 2s good to go. What else did we do? Upgrade our smelting for steel. Let's take a look at that one more time. So up to about 120 now. Let's see what the issue is. Is it... Let's see, issue. 100%. Are you guys not running? No. Iron ore? What do you mean? Still have some of this iron stuck in here. So let's clear that out. Quick remove that and that. There we go. Quick remove, quick remove, quick remove, quick remove. There we go. Is that the only issue? Looks like it. Okay, so that explains why the assemblers were, or the blast furnaces were not keeping up. So now we should see our steel jump up to that 192 mark. Everything else is running pretty much 100%. Our oxygen is keeping up just fine. Could be water, because each one needs 12, so that's 24 water. 24 water per, so these pipes should keep up just fine. But we'll upgrade our pipes here to tier 3s, just so they're ready to go. And same with that pipe. To our copper, which we still haven't changed over to acid yet, but we are starting to burn through the copper. Yeah, with that extra electronics running. But we have balanced back out. Production has increased. And let's see, so we have lab equipment 2, electronic 2s. We'll run both of these guys. And let's see, so we are making 12 electronic 2s. We're not using anything that needs maintenance too, so we shouldn't be using any of those. The only thing that will use electronic 2s are going to be our construction 4s, and then our science. But there we go. Got our first set of lab equipment going. And we'll set this guy as number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And let's upgrade this belt. There we go. We could try turning this on. Yeah, let's do it. That means our electronics usage is going to go up. So another 24, so another machine here. So we'll go something like that. We'll pause one of these. And then use Unity to build everything that we can. And then also convert everything to tier 2. Which also means our copper use is going to go even higher. So I think we will end the episode here, and then next episode we will upgrade our furnaces for copper, set up our sulfur, and then get into our next tier of research. So I'll have our labs upgraded. We already got one done. So perfect there. And then you can export from there. Okay, so we'll turn that off. So our lab can start researching. It needs 24. We are only making 24. So we'll need to up our science as well. Which means should be simple as just doing this. So we'll do that and that. So that's 16 paper. 16 paper means we're going to need both of our chem plants running. 6 and 6 is 12. We're making 24 wood chips, so that's fine. And then we got plenty of steam as well. So yeah, we'll get that going in the next episode. So thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.